You know what time it is, people? Start with the reaction. Okay, everybody, you know what time it is. Are we getting the true history? Or are we actually going to get like some major lore drops? From the way the community has been reacting this week, it does seem that we are at least getting some major news of some kind, potentially some big news. He did say I do want to see Morgan's and, if he reacts to all of this stuff in this chapter. But anyway, if we are getting the end game level stuff here, I'm not reading this chapter in pajamas. We got the wine drip. We are ready. Here we go. Okay, I'm probably going to be taking a little extra time with this if this is very text dense. Again, sorry guys, I'm not reading everything out. I want to absorb it, and I will keep everybody up to date with the page counter. Okay? And then we'll get into the discussion. I have been looking forward to this one. All right. Oh, we're getting a Wano cover story.
It's about to get spicy.
Yeah. Okay. Would he do this? Would he? I mean, he did the pudding and Kuzan and Augur stuff, but it's like, would he reveal what happened to Kaido and Big Mom in this? Would he reveal Pluton in the cover story? Would he reveal Blackbeard going to Wano to get Pluton in a cover story? Because that should be in a chapter. Good lord. Anyway. Sorry, that was page 1. Alright, on to page 2. Is this a flashback? Because there's no black borders. Or is this confirmation that Vegapunk is not dead? We have somebody questioning whether or not this message should go out to the world or not. So... Alright. Yeah, this is a flashback, but it's kind of crazy that he didn't put the black borders, but okay. So it's Stella and Shaka talking, so hey, shout out to Shaka, we're definitely pulling the helmet out. I wonder how long ago this is. It kind of seems like it might have been like right before the Straw Hats showed up. Maybe. Or are we saying... Oh, this is part of the recording. We are in the... Okay. We are in the present, and literally as he's recording this pre-recorded message, Shaka's in the background, like saying, like, "Hey, you sure you want to do this and all this?" And okay, I think that's what's happening. All right. So Vegapunk still could be dead. Activated the dead man switch. Pre-recorded message. Here we go. The whole point of this is to question if someone would try to stop the message, which is what we talked about with Emu and all of that, sending, some sort of Leloucia style blast out over here. Okay. Yeah. So let's go to the next page. Okay, we got Fodder Marines here. They're trying to already stop the broadcast. Okay, looks like they may not have the technology to stop it in the first place. Alright, there's our boy Giant Luffy, the big boy. Oh, okay. So unlike what happened with Uta, I think what's being said here is the message is being relayed to anybody who has a snail. So that's how people are hearing it, because it's just like maybe it's a situation where it's hacking into all of the snails in the world. Okay, so Oda's just going into like various explanations of how people will actually get this information, which is fine. That's it's good because it's answering any questions that we might have of being like, well, where's the logic here? Okay, we've got it. We got this. We're in it. We're in it to win it. Okay. Imagine, like, the only thing that gets out is them talking about, like, how to set this up in the first place. Oh, we would be so mad. The community would be calling this Kaido Flashback 2.0. Anyway, so Saturn is concerned. Then we've got Usopp, Nami, Edison, and Chopper. Chopper, who should be doctoring, but isn't. Are you trying to say that they're not going to start talking until they've given enough people time to set up all of their snails? Oh, this might be Kaido 2.0. Let's see. All right. Next page, we got Marines firing on a yet to be named giant, who will likely have some sort of 80s wrestler name. Yeah, so they're worried about, essentially like Emu stopping this, or the Marines interfering. Okay, so they're going to change the waiting time. Okay. Significantly less time, but still may not mean we're getting things in this chapter or at all. Don't make me have put a suit on for nothing here, okay? Okay, we got Sanji here holding Vegapunk. Not getting a response from him. Is this going to be confirmation that he's dead? Okay, we are cutting to Mary Geoise. This is a kind of a new look of Pangaea Castle here, which is interesting. I like the designs. Moving on to the next page. Okay, so we got the 4 old men in a room. It's been a little bit since we caught up with them. Is Saturn communicating with them telepathically? With his mind? He's trying to confirm that Vegapunk should be dead. So they're essentially talking about like what we've been talking about here with the dead man switch. Like if this would play upon his death and all that stuff. Yeah, Yeah, yeah. I'm glad that Oda is, you know, like really spelling that out for everybody. Okay, here is Mercury. Mercury. And Jupiter. Oh, wait a second. So they think that they can't get to the broadcast because of the barrier. But with the Sunny barreling towards the barrier, they may take the barrier down, which will then effectively destroy the island and stop the mess. There's a lot of possibilities here. Okay. So now we've got Pythagoras here, who is popping into the message to say, hey, I at one point existed as well. This better be the... I don't want, you know... I don't want anime minutes here. I want this to, like, to move, you know? It's like, I don't want to be here 30 chapters from now, like we're on Namek, and, you know, the planet's about to blow up in 5 minutes, but it's 30 episodes? Come on. Okay. So I suggested that we probably would see a Dex of the World thing of people receiving this message, but we're not even getting to the message, so we're just seeing people probably setting up their snails, I guess, but it looks like we're going to Dressrosa. One guy looks like he's losing his mind in the middle. Alright, so this is fun. This is fun. This is showing everybody, like, literally getting their snails ready. Okay. Oh. Look. It's Rebecca. And Leo is back on Dressrosa. We got the boy Kyros, one of my goats. Shout out to the boy. Oh man. Could we see Bellamy? I mean, not that he would be on Dressrosa, but, you know, like, could I see, like, legitimately one of my goats here? Like, it would be fun to, you know, add him into the mix here. Oh, God. So all of the Tentatas think that Luffy is a bad guy now because of the news, or you know they're gullible or whatever. So Rebecca's trying to free them here. She really looks like Nami in this panel. I'm sure people have said that, but I mean, like, this is obnoxiously Nami-like in a way that it shouldn't be. Okay, got the goat whoop slap. We're seeing a lot of goats. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I'm here for this. I like going around the world. All right, so it looks like they don't have a visual transponder snail, so they're just gonna have to listen to the broadcast old school. All right, let's see my other goat, Iceberg. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. It was daytime at Dressrosa, or at least that was the implication. Unless Iceberg's taking a nap. But it looks like it could be night. Like, are we saying that there's different time zones and the sun is like in different positions? I don't know. That's way too heady for this. Anyway, We see Iceberg's new secretary. Looks like Tyrannosaurus is on her head. This one, she was in a cover story. She was introduced in a cover story. Yeah. And Iceberg, even, like, I gotta say, look, I love Iceberg. He's one of my favorite characters in the entire series. And even his pajamas are drippy. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, yeah. So they're gonna like wake the whole city up for this. We are getting some news. We are getting some news, people. Did I hit the page button? I feel like I've been so enraptured that I may have. Been neglecting to hit the button. Let me think here. Yeah, this is. I think this is. I think this iceberg page is 6, and then. Here we go. Here we go. Even if we don't get any news, the suit's worth it. Because we're in the presence of royalty. Nefertari D. Vivi. Okay. We're here in Morgan's blimp. Let's get an update. Tell me you're coming to Egghead. Come on. I also wanted to know, is Morgan's going to be happy about this, or is he going to be upset that he's not the one that is actually delivering the news? So we're going to get a little bit of an insight into Morgan's actual character here. Is he more concerned with people getting the news, or who delivers it? And it's going to change and color who he actually is. All right. There's the queen. Wapple is looking rough. He looks like he aged 20 years. All right. Okay. Morgan's is flexing his intelligence. Okay, he thinks the Buster Call, like, already did its work. Looks like that's all we're getting. Which is slightly disappointing. Alright. We're heading to different blues here. Seeing some randos. This guy's making a joke. We got a snow country here. I wonder if this is Alteria or whatever. Where Portcas de Rouge is from. I don't know. Kind of. I don't know. I get that vibe. Okay. Next page. Okay, so this is the Revolutionary Army, Kamabaka. Oda is milking this. Oh my god. Alright, anyway, we got a Vonkov there. Vonkov is not used to seeing Vegapunk in this form. Vonkov probably knew Vegapunk when he had his full head of head. Sabo, Belobeti, Morley, Limber, Koala, Karasu, they're all there. There's other randos that we got introduced to that I've already forgotten the names of. Look like they're also watching it as well. Okay. Luffy thinks that he's ineffective against... is he talking about Saturn or Kizaru here? That's a great Kizaru panel. He looks like Luffy, Chopper, and Usopp when they see Frankie do something cool. But this is interesting. Is he really ineffective? Then we gotta figure some stuff out. So we got a callback to the beginning of the arc when Shaka, was telling Dragon that he doesn't think that he's long for this world, which we talked about last week. It's a nice callback here, so it seems that Dragon, who is looking west in this chapter, so this is something new for him. Or, depending, maybe he's still looking east, but he's looking in a cardinal direction for sure. He is maybe putting it together that Vegapunk is dead. Alright, so back to Egghead. This is a 2-page spread, so let's see. Alright, so I'm getting the impression that Luffy thinks he just needs to hold them back for like some sort of an escape plan rather than actually like trying to fight them completely. Next page. Luffy going on the offensive. Is he going to swat them like bugs? Is that what's happening here? Oh, he is smashing them together. That is phenomenal. Okay. Next page here. The aftermath of them being clapped together here. They have turned into Diamante. These two people have now eaten the flag fruit because they are waving around. Oh, don't tell me Luffy's about to spin him like a pizza. Oh, no. Oh, no. The highest authority in the world is getting spun like a pizza. Oh, mamma mia. Mamma mia. Okay. This is, okay. That's not on the bingo card here, guys. This is not on the bingo card. Not at all. Okay. This is insane. This is so extra, so Looney Tunes. They are just, they've got birds spinning around, stars spinning around.
Savage.
The way that he is bending reality here. This is Diamante. This is hilarious. Okay, anyway, next page. That is wild. I mean, I don't know. I might as well hit this button. Retroactively for seeing Kuros and Vivi as well. I have actually ascended quite a few times in this. Just saying. The ascension has happened so much that I just am so enthralled with what this chapter is actually delivering on. I don't know if I already hit the button, so I might be wrong on the page count here, but I'm moving to the next page after Luffy has spun them like pizzas. So now he is throwing the pizzas. He has gone full Walter White, and he is throwing these pizzas. Are you serious? Did he spin them outside of Egghead into a ship and cause it to like blow up?
Savage.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way. That's got to be something different, right? So the implication is that that could be Kizaru like smashing into the ship. And let's see, next page. It looks like Saturn has gotten control of his spinning and is spinning back toward Luffy. Luffy is not happy about this. He thought that would be the finishing move. Alright. So confirmation that was Kizaru that landed on a ship and caused that explosion. We have seen Kizaru on his back in this position way too many times in this arc, and he's just constantly covering his face. He does not want to be here. He does not want to do this. He's in pain. He's in pain. All right. There might be an implication that there is some sort of like telepathic communication between all of the Gorosei. Because that is what these lines I'm feeling is like them sending messages to him that he has to like step up here and be the representative that stops this broadcast. Okay, so he's attacking Luffy. Going to the next page. Given how few pages we've been getting lately, this will probably be the end of it. Let's see. Alright, so the two giants that took Atlas, Bonnie, Frankie, and Kuma have arrived at the Giant Warrior Pirate ship. What is Saturn about to do? What is he about to do? Is he going to transport all, oh man, like could this get crazy where all of the Gorosei show up here or something? I don't know. What is he about to do? What is he doing? We've got a bunch of different circles here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, don't do it. Okay. Okay. What is going on? What is going on? Luffy is very much like echoing me here. And he's doing this. Okay. Sanji is still holding Vegapunk. Oh yeah. Oh my god. We are in the end game, folks. They're all coming. We need more people. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough people. This is going to be a decisive blow. I don't know. Woo. Oh, man. Maybe my old theory about Luffy getting captured could come true. Where they take him, and then it's the entire world needs to come and get him, and he is the ace for the Marineford 2.0. Oh, God. I mean, especially with all of his showings here. The way he's been gassed up. He's like almost too powerful. Like, we have to get him off the board. Oh, man. Let's... We didn't get any lore, but this chapter was this chapter is yeah. Let's get into the discussion.
You loyal.
People. Oh, shout out to the goats in the chat. I need all of the W's. Like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. There's some lavish bracket activity to start the discussion today. Container Productions, who said, Dragon thinking about where he's going to buy flowers from this time. Hey, the man was looking west today. He's looking west. He heard all those comments about how he only looks east. He's like, all right, let me switch it up on him. They ain't gonna inspect this. And shout out to Abdullah. Appreciate you. That half of the Straw Hats will go to Elbaf with Luffy. Half of the Straw Hats will go to Elbaf. And Luffy, with Zoro, Jinbei, and maybe Sanji, will defend Egghead until the message is delivered to the world. That's a fun thought. The robot will fly them away to escape. They will meet Kobe in the sea and team up to save Garp before heading to Elbaf. So you want to see a situation where the monster trio splits off, and you've got the weakling trio and everybody else goes to Elbaf, and Usopp is doing his own thing. But then the monster trio teams up with Kobe, and they go to Hachinosu and fight, like, Blackbeard? That's kind of wild.
You loyal.
It would be interesting. Right now, what I think is, I think you're onto something with the split up, but where I'm at with my head with everything right now is that Luffy tries to defend them all by himself and tells everybody else to go to Elbaf, but Luffy ends up getting captured. I've wanted this for a long time because I feel like it would be the perfect full circle scenario for the series if everybody that Luffy had to save in, over the course of the quarter century that we've been doing this, pulls up to Marineford to prevent his, execution, or wherever he's being executed. So it's like the same way we're getting this Decks of the World situation now, where we're seeing, like a lot of goats. So many goats. We're seeing Kyros, we're seeing Iceberg, looking drippy in his pajamas. We're seeing, of course, the Queen Vivi. It's like all of these kingdoms, all of these, not all of these are kingdoms. Some of these are just islands. They're unaffiliated. Of course, Iceberg isn't going to affiliate himself with the government, but still, the people know what Luffy did. They know who Luffy is. Well, maybe Leo is he forgets sometimes. But I just want to see that, just all of these people coming and saying like, we appreciate you. And then of course, it's like, it's one of those things where Luffy,
You loyal.
he's showing out so much right now that it really is his peak. It's his pinnacle. How much further can he go, except for like the final battles in the series? So it's like maybe Oda is showing us this Luffy that is almost untouchable, so that we're surprised when he gets captured. And then it's up to the rest of the crew to kind of catch up to Luffy for the end. So maybe Elbaf is kind of like a little bit of a training situation. People need to learn hockey and everything to get ready for like rescuing Luffy, going up against the Blackbeard pirates. I don't know. Maybe that's all crazy. At some point, this Garp stuff does have to come back. Kobe does have to get folded into the story. So, I mean, you're right there, Abdullah. When is it actually going to happen? I don't know, but I do think we're going to get fights against the Gorosei. I just don't know if it's all... This arc cannot end with a win. We've been saying that from the beginning, that this is the Pyrrhic victory. This is the Shabandi. This is the Sabaody. This is what that is. Like, people are going to have to leave, and it's going to feel incomplete. But what it could do is, if we start getting Zoro versus Gandhi, Venus Juro, and then it's kind of setting up that fight. Zoro loses, maybe, it's like, and then he breaks his promise. Like, he said he would never lose again, but this dude, like, he lost to this dude. So now it's like, not only does he have to beat Mihawk, but now he has a vendetta against this, Gorosei member, leading us with some drama into the final, thralls of this story in the first place. So, and then we gotta figure out who Sanji's gonna fight. I think he'd fight Mars or Jupiter.
Savage.
And I'm kind of leaning more towards Mars. And Ace2532, member for 19 months, said Oda rewarded the lack of a message with not one but all of the Gorosei arriving to Egghead, plus a Vivi appearance makes this an automatic 10. You know this. I was a little worried that, I prematurely suited and booted, and then I was like, no, I'm in the presence of royalty. It's okay. It's okay. I thought I was getting a message. Like I said, I was like, you don't hear what happened in the Void Century in pajamas. Okay, you have to be dressed for the occasion. This is another reason why Vegapunk is like, yeah, you know what, let me give him 10 minutes. So that, not everybody wakes up like Iceberg, in a full, Gucci pajamas. Alejandro Salas, member for 9 months, said Fuchsia Village doesn't have a snail. Why, though? Because they're poor. That's what Oda's trying to say. He's trying to hammer in the idea that there are villages that have been affected by the world government, by heavenly tribute. There are these poor little villages. These are the things that Luffy isn't outright stating that he wants to change, but he wants to make sure that everybody is, kind of on an equal playing field. Whoop Slap doesn't want to deal with paying for that visual transponder snail. He also doesn't want to deal with feeding that transponder snail. That's another mouth to feed in their village. And it's a small little village. So that's why they don't have the snail. They've got a little sound thing. It's also a reference to, just old timers. Some of you might have parents that still don't use the internet or things like that. I know a lot of people like that are just like, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. No. We're not doing this whole internet thing. So Sanj Saab super chatted, said, yes, I have said this too. Every individual arc involves removing Luffy from the story in some way. So it makes sense Oda would plan to remove Luffy from the overarching story of One Piece as well. Yeah, we do see this, and I do like that you're tying it into that trend. That's why it was very easy to predict that Luffy was going to fall off of Onigashima, because all you have to do is look at every single arc, and it's like, yeah, he falls off of things. He fell down in Dressrosa. He fell off the Arc Maxim. He fell from the palace in Alabasta. He will... inevitably have this, this moment where he needs to be taken out of the action. And I want there to be a moment where the crew gets a chance to stand on their own. Sanji did get an opportunity to lead the crew on the way to Zoe. I'd like to see Zoro do that. I don't know if Oda, has any sort of plans where it's like that's the case, but that's where a lot of these ideas come from. Like, let's actually give Zoro his moment, because truth be told, I don't think Zoro has had like a really defining moment in the post-time skip. Like, when people want to think about Zoro defining moments, everybody goes to the pre-time skip. Nothing happened. Zoro versus Mr. One, like, yeah, him fighting King was cool, but it didn't have the same vibe and the same feel as that stuff. Pika seemed like a walk, he was just dog walking him. Like, it doesn't, I haven't felt like Zoro's been challenged yet, so having him, potentially go up against Samurai Gandhi here is like, let's do that. Or although wait, maybe Lucci does have him on the ropes though. No, but 11/11 is coming up. We know that Zoro's birthday is 11/11. That is definitely like what's gonna happen here. We'll probably get like 11/10. We're gonna set up this this Gorosei business. They're going to land. We'll probably see some more decks of the world, and then we get to 11/11. Zoro will finish fighting Lucci, and then he'll finally put his bandana on to show that he's serious, and he'll start fighting Venus Juro or something. Baby Pluto N super chatted and said, could Roger's disease be a result of the Gorosei showing up to God Valley? I actually did talk about this when we first saw Saturn, and when we were talking about like what could have happened at God Valley, and with Saturn being at God Valley, I did bring this up because I was like, what if the incurable disease was something from the Gorosei? And then from that, I was also kind of tying it to like, I was saying like, could Hero-Look have been there because he, was in the West Blue theoretically around the same time. So it's like, did he also get that? And, that's, it's definitely a really like good thing to pull up here. And it's like, he said, no way they show up here. They didn't show up for Roger and Rocks. Ooh, I see what you're getting at. I like that. Maybe that's why he's holding back on God Valley, because this also happened? Okay. Maxo, member for 33 months, said, as much as I like the Luffy breakout idea, I can't think of many more scenarios that would make the world government seem more inept at this point. Yeah, I don't know. It's more about the rally of everybody else. It's about that swell and that appreciation that everybody would have for him. It would be putting that thing that Mihawk was talking about on full display. That he has the power to move people, bring people together, all of this. So it's just, that's what it is. Shout out to my guy Dax Sake, member for 9 months, who said peak, like, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Listen to.
Come with me if you want to live.
Man. Appreciate you, brother. Yvette Noemi said, last week I bet $1 that the reveal was in 1109. She said she lost. It's okay, because even when we lose, we win. Because there's still, we wanted the message. There definitely there's reasons to be skeptical. It's Oda, right? So didn't come into this immediately saying like, we're definitely getting this. So I'm not surprised that we didn't get it. But what we did get is still good. Like, nobody expected that we were going to get all of the Gorosei, right? Because nobody knew. Nobody was speculating that they could teleport and summon from Marijoa, because then at the same point, like, why was Saturn in a boat? Why was he going to Egghead when he could have gotten there at any point, maybe? Or do one of them have to be there for a point of origin? Which goes back to what Baby Pluto N was talking about, where Saturn was already on God Valley. So this situation here literally could have happened back then, which is really fun. It's a great idea. Ace 25 32, member for 19 months, said Oda rewarded the lack of a message. I read that one. And I know there was some that came through during the reaction. Make sure I get those. SK said, I can't believe this chapter showed us the all blue. To think it was our balls the whole time. Oda loves his countdowns. Yeah. Pop Cult Parent joined the channel. Another one.
Another one.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Maxo Super Chatted said, Luffy goes Gear 5, and all of a sudden he thinks he can stand in the kitchen. Not falling for that one, big guy. Hey, look.
Pizza time.
I went and made sure I found that for this. It's pizza time. Yeah, when he started spinning them like pizza, I lost it. I was like, no. Oh, man. But not only did he spin them like pizza, he literally just, like, diamante'd them. Like, he... And I think that point, like, really deserves something. Like, we got to think about that. Like, how many devil fruits could Luffy theoretically kind of channel here? And was he ever present for Diamante using his power? Because that's something that I want to, like, kind of think about. Did he ever see Diamante use his power? Because I don't think he did. But I wish he did, because then it would be like, oh, wait, he's seen this, and then he thought to do it. Which would have been cool, because we know that Luffy does that to begin with anyway. Very motivated super chat and said, we have to get the drip in order for lore piece. Look. Those memes aren't memes. You know, where like the kid is, you know, he's in his pajamas and it's like how I am for blank, and then, you know, he's got the suit on, it's like how I am for blank. It's like this lore piece getting the end game of the series. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm still keeping it kind of casual. I got a t-shirt underneath the blazer, but it's still like, you gotta feel good. You gotta feel comfortable. When you're getting that energy, you're getting the information. When you realize that you're kind of like on this plateau and this level that something that's been built up for a quarter century, you need to dress appropriately. Yeah. 0011 said, do you think Saturn could have inadvertently poisoned Kizaru when they got slapped together? I imagine Saturn could hit through Kizaru's Logia properties. That's a fun thought that I definitely didn't think of. And wow, if that's how Kizaru gets, you know, dies or something. I mean, look, the man killed Vegapunk. He's in the mud. So whatever happens to him now, you made your bed, bro. Lie in it. Let's see here. Shout out to Vasil Vlad Ivanovici. Super chatted and said, imagine if the Gorosei destroy Punk Records right when Vegapunk is about to drop the name of the Ancient Kingdom, only for the broadcast to continue unbothered from the Revolutionaries base. So this is something I wanted to bring up, actually, and I'm glad you did, because that's exactly how I want it to happen, except I don't want Vegapunk to say it, but then I want the broadcast, like, they stop the recording, but they're still able to broadcast, and then Robin gets up from, you know, the stretcher that she's on, and she's like, give me that mic, And she's like, the name of the ancient kingdom is... And then she names it. Okay? That's what I want. That's what I want. Like, I want Robin to finish the sentence. I talked about that last week, and now this lines up perfectly for him to, like, get some lore out. But not the key information that really should be Robin. Like, I feel like if Robin isn't a part of this, it neuters her character. And then I would legitimately have to say that Oda didn't plan Robin in the story. Like, maybe he always had a plan for, like, Vegapunk to be the person to, like, give this sort of information, that he was always going to have this Dr. Wily type that gave it all up, and he just thought it was really interesting to have a villain join the crew and, you know, and make her this, like, MacGuffin for the plot, and then she just falls away after Annie's lobby or something. It's like, no. This is the point where she needs to show why she's in the story, why she is one of the most dangerous people in the world. Let's not forget that she exists. Let's not forget what her dream is. Let's not forget that she has knowledge and things that she literally has not told us. Because, you know, I mean, it's like when she was reading the newspaper on the way to Egghead. It's like, do you want to hear all of this? And Luffy's just like, just give me the important bits. And it's just like, well, we want to hear all of this. What does Robin know? She needs to finish the sentence. She needs to be the one to do it. That's how I feel. Like, it's what she's been studying. Like, it's the perfect way to get back at the world government. You know? And it would be a great defining character moment for her. You know, like, not that I see her as this, like, great orator that, you know, would want to tell everything. You know, that's more Vivi's thing. But it still needs to come from Robin in some way. Chad Ocho, member for 32 months, said, when 5 old men finally leave their room. Yeah, well, let's see if they're going to be pressing the life alert button. I've fallen and I can't get up. Yeah. There's a lot going on right now in the end of this chapter.
It makes no damn sense. Compels me, though.
Lucy B super chatted and said, Brago brought something up. Zoro versus Lucci in the Labo phase where the message is being broadcast. Suddenly that fight is very important. Is that where the fight is taking place? Because that is interesting, actually. Because then Lucci could really be trying to, like, stop the broadcast and actually have something plot relevant to do. And then Zoro, maybe he realizes how important it is. I don't know. I just need him to, like, kick up, put the bandana on, show that he's serious, because there are bigger threats than Lucci right now. You know, it's all narrative though. Oda is keeping Zoro with Lucci and for this long for the purpose of keeping him away from the story so that Oda can feel unburdened when he brings Zoro to fight Venus Juro, or to create a situation where it does seem like he was winded going into his loss, so people are like, well, he only lost because, you know, he was fighting Lucci and you know, Lucci's so strong, and meanwhile, you know, a year ago everybody was just like, everybody thought Lucci was strong, blah 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 blah, and it's just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like, we can sit here in power scale and everything, and it's like, you can look at the fact that Luffy put him in the ground pretty easily, and Zoro is and try and say that, okay, well, there's now this large disparity between Luffy and Zoro, or just look at it from the point of the plot demanded it. I don't know. that's why I don't know. I can't sit here and think about power scaling and all of that, but yeah. Brian Carter super chatted and said, "Do you think we'll get the Elder's fruit names next chapter?" That's interesting. I think we'll see their powers. I mean, like, they might show up and like transform like Saturn did. Will we get their fruit names? That's a different, a question and a hard thing to answer, because I'm of the belief that they don't have fruits. This is just them. So that's what we're dealing with. Like, these dudes are like, they're not on demon time. They are demons. But if we were to get any sort of Oda box that cleared us into everything, I would have to go back and look at when we got their names. Because Oda literally named them on like the 21st anniversary of the first time they ever appeared in chapter 233. So if he wanted to do something like that again, like, I could see it lining up where it's like a year later after that, then, but I don't remember the math piece of like when that chapter actually dropped. But like, I could see him doing something like that. Zodiac HDPC super chatted and said, here in Puerto Rico on vacay. Been here since 5K, but wasn't here earlier, so I don't know if you've already talked about this. But what if Vegapunk's death message is a fake out for a live stream of Luffy versus the Gorosei? So I haven't talked about that, but I definitely wanted to bring that up from a perspective of like, and that kind of goes into what I was talking about with the Robin thing. I do want to see this message get broadcast, but I got a comment, and actually I screenshotted it because I want to shout the person out. And I like the idea of it, because everything was like, what's the message going to be? What's the message going to be? Is it really the true history of the world? But Lone Lupin was like, what if it's just details on the specific legend of Sun God Nika? And then I was like, okay, I like that, because then it doesn't really trample what I feel Robin is doing and what her mission is. Because it's like, if all Vegapunk can do is get out the lore of Sun God Nika, and then it becomes a broadcast of Luffy versus the Gorosei, showing like, hey, look, this is this guy that has been, touted as a menace in the news and all of that. Like, no, this dude is a god. Then everybody would start, becoming like followers of Luffy in some way that he would, of course, not want, going back to chapter 800 with the Sun's Cups and all of that stuff. Like, he's not going to want to be worshipped as a god, friend or foe. Like, you decide, like, god or not. Okay, fine. But like, he's not the type that's going to be saying that. But like, going back to also the idea of Luffy getting captured and everything, like, if everybody's like, well, we got to go save this god, there's a lot of story that I feel could be built off of the idea of like getting this message out. It's almost like spreading, your own version of like benevolent propaganda in a way. So I do like that idea. I do love the idea of, if they stop the recording, it becomes live, and we do get to see different aspects and in different places, and it shows this fight. It gives Robin the opportunity to grab the mic or something, that would be really fun. Ace 2532 super chatted. 20, appreciate that, and said, I don't think Vivi buys Morgan's theory about Egghead burning. Odds are she's going to steal a snail and hopefully call the Sunny directly, or possibly Nami. Hey. I'm just ascending at the thought of this. Anyway, imagine the first person she talks to is Brooke or Lilith. It would actually be a mirror to what happened with the Giants, because they didn't know Frankie or Bonnie or Atlas and Kuma, right? So, and I think I did mention that, where I was like, what if, Vivi arrives, if, when that happened, I think I did talk about that, where it was like, if Vivi arrives, like, it would be great if she ran into some of the Straw Hats that she doesn't know, like Frankie or Jinbei or Brooke. And that's fun. I know, I love that. But the biggest thing about the Vivi scene for me is her saying, does it say where Luffy's crew is going? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, Oda is saying she is coming. She is actively trying to find out where they are, and she's trying to meet up with them. So, it's happening, folks. It's happening. It's happening. Very motivated, supered, and said, I can't have a live broadcast fight without my boy Buggy there as a commentator. Oh, we have to get the Cross Guild reaction to this. But we also need to understand what was going on with the Cross Guild in the first place, because as far as we know, they were fighting the Seraphim. So if we cut to them, then we need more context for that, which may disrupt the flow of everything going on. Oh, man. But we need that. We need that. What's the plan? What's the plan? Shout out to Container Productions. Supered again. 20, appreciate that. Said, after Luffy throws Saturn and Kizaru, he is no longer in his giant form. Seems like the form has a time limit, and it's about time the Iron Giant gets relevant. It's definitely about time the Iron Giant gets relevant. And, we've been talking about someone else's soul being put into it. Originally, we were talking about Kuma, and I actually like the real Kuma being in there, but, now with all this Vegapunk stuff, like, does Vegapunk do this, and then, like, he sacrifices himself with Egghead by being inside the robot? Like, we wanted Kuma to do that, but now is it Vegapunk? What is the thing? Because the other thing too is like, we don't have, and this is a good thing that Oda did. He has, I think, sufficiently set up that these Gorosei members are on another level that we may not be ready for. So even if Sanji and Zoro and Jinbei, like, and we'll need somebody else to get involved, because it's only 4 against 5, who's going to be our 5th person? And if we get 5 people involved here, how do we win? Does Kuma run back? Does the Iron Giant try to fight one of them? Do we get another faction here? Does Shanks show up? Like, is the thing is, like, we never fight Shanks, we actually fight with Shanks. Oh man, I just thought of this, but, like, could you imagine if, how everybody's just like, how does Shanks get places and all this stuff, right? What if Gorosei show up, but then another summoning circle appears, and then Shanks comes out of that? Showing that he's on whatever time they're on? I don't know. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Oh, man. Well, looks like Max is out. Appreciate you, brother. Like, that. Everybody's been speculating, like, how does Shanks teleport everywhere? Well, I don't know. There's some magic in this world that we're not ready for. Oh man. DK Dawn Knight 1993, member for 14 months, said this chapter made me realize this is totally a setup arc. Always has been. Luffy needed to fight the elders and now run. So next time he can beat him. Also, hi. Hey, buddy. Yeah, that's all I've wanted from this arc in the first place. Archipelago. Setup. It's a setup. We need our crew to realize that they're not ready. There are so many members of our crew that don't even have hockey yet. They're just Stephen A. Smithing. I don't know a damn thing about hockey. Let me be clear. Yeah. Oh man. My guy Luke said, this Decks of the World BS was such a buzzkill this chapter, but I'm all about Luffy straight Looney Tunesing an Admiral and a Gorosei chef's kiss. Actually, I mean, look, I'm actually okay with this development. Because is it a pump fake? Yeah. Is it Oda blueballing us? Absolutely. Is it Kaido's Flashback 2.0? Not yet, but almost. It's close. It depends on what the next couple of chapters give us, right? But for the final saga, I want as many Decks of the World shots as we possibly can get. Because this show has been going on for so long. This series has been going on for so long. There's so many great characters. And it was, for me, really nice to see Heroes, Iceberg, and Vivi. And, you know, these are important characters.
Savage.
Iceberg literally built the Sunny for us with Frankie. So we need to see his reaction, because he's also tied to the ancient weapons and everything too. Like, Iceberg is legitimately one of my favorite characters. And I like, so if he gets more play in all of this, like, I'm totally on board with that. Kyros, totally underrated. And so it was nice to see that. We need to see more of this. I mean, my favorite chapters in One Piece are always the Decks of the World stuff, where it's like it's like, it's a moment that you earn. You know, you read all of this stuff, and then you get to see how other people react to it. It's, you know, it's kind of like this. You know, like streaming. Like going to, and seeing how other people react to the things, having conversations about it. Like that's that's kind of a, you know, weird comparison, but it's like that's kind of, I don't know, maybe why we like it. But do I like the idea that we have to wait 10 minutes? No, because it means that we're not going to get as much as we need out of this. But what it is doing, it is setting up how important all of this is. Because while we know how important it is, and we want the answers, the rest of the world isn't as clued into this. So everybody gathering together for this message and everything, like it kind of feels like Marineford, where everybody was turning everything on, and it's just like, what's happening in the world? And it's elevating what is being delivered to us. So that's where I'm just like, okay, let's do this. Let's get everybody on board. Let's see everybody that's watching this, because if this incident is supposed to be as like groundbreaking as it's being presented, and you know what the narrator said, show me, don't tell me. And this is the part where this is a good show. We're seeing everybody getting ready for this. I like it. I like it. I don't think that it's going to end well. I don't think we're going to get much information, but I think the objective here isn't the information, but the idea that everybody will now know that something is up. And they'll be clued in enough to start questioning the government and maybe start respecting Luffy in some way. So there's the give and take. There's the give and take, but it's like when we look back on all of this, after this is all said and done, I think we'll appreciate these moments. Hopefully. Emil Diaz super chatted and said, while the elders hold up Luffy, Kizaru goes for Zoro. Hey, look. I want to see Zoro cut light at this point. You know, I want that. Chin rejoined. Appreciate you, Chin. Barry said she'll be sure to get her lashes done for lore piece. She super chatted said, how long are we predicting Oda will draw this 10 minutes out? I don't know. I mean, I still feel like the arc needs to end at 11:14, 11:15, but can it now? I don't know. I don't know. This is not an arc that was supposed to be this long, so we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to. But I mean, hey, you know, Oda starts getting into his Toriyama bag here. That might actually happen. Alejandro Salas said, nah, Fleet Admiral Lucci has Zoro trapped. Brandon King super chatted said, Luffy fails to save Vegapunk, but he gets out the message. Darkness falls as the government wipes islands, the cleansing. Straw Hats leave with Mini Egg, which we talked about, become the ship in the dark, that Vivi said, spreading truth. Ooh, yeah. I would love if that's, you know, what, you know, I mean, we've talked about how when Vivi comes back, I want her to be the person that is delivering the message, similar to her message in Alabasta. But I love the idea of, like, bringing that imagery of the ship in the dark back. And it's like, as Robin is translating things and laying out all of this, like, I would love it if Vivi was the orator. Like, if she was the one that, like, spreads the message because her ancestors are deeply tied to it in the first place. And she is a public figure that people could rally against. So it's like, anybody that might be skeptical about Luffy or Robin or anything, like, Vivi's Princess Diana, and they're just gonna be like, well, if she's there, I don't know, maybe that pirate is all right. I don't know. Red Hood 52, member for 13 months, says Zoro has to deal with Lucci. His real fights here. All right, so then, I mean, are we really saying that it's gonna be Luffy versus the 5 Gorosei? Which, I mean, maybe it is. He's not really sweating one of them, so see what happens. Catching up on the chat. Make sure I didn't miss any supers here. I did. Let's see. 0011 supered and said, daily reminder that Kizaru was fighting a Yonko, number 4 Sanji, and himself. Sanji is not number 4. All right, let's put some respect on his name. At this point, Sanji's number 2. Until Zoro, like, steps back up. Brian Carter said, do you think the other 4 elders coming will extend the arc? I think it'll go around to 11:30. What do you think? I don't think we're here until 11:30. That's crazy. Unless we're, like, going other places. Like, unless we're, like, catching up with the Cross Guild and seeing what's going on with Sword and like really getting involved in like the rest of the world's politics and like something with the Revolutionary Army. This arc needs to end. It's not we can't keep this up. We can't keep this up. We have the 5 Gorosei coming. Like, it's way too early for that, in my opinion, even if we're in the final saga. So it's like, this has to be a mad dash for the exit. The island basically has a self-destruct thing going on, too, because we have the Buster Call. Oda is upping the stakes to a ridiculous amount. If we beat the Gorosei here, we might as well just go and become the Pirate King right now. And then we never get to Elbaf, and of course we have to go to Elbaf, and we still have to fight all these other people. There's so much that needs to get done that it's like, oh man, what is Oda's order of operations? What is his plan? But at the same time, with them coming, I'm like, can we still stand by my timeline where we really only have like 5 or 6 chapters left of Egghead? And with that, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe this extends to 11:21, but not like 11:30. But even then, I don't know. I still think that there's a way to do this, and maybe it goes back to what. Maybe it goes back to what Abdullah was saying, where the Straths get split up. So it's like some of them are on their way to Elbaf and maybe even land at Elbaf by like 11:16. But there are still some that are at Egghead, like Luffy or something. I could see, you know, then there's opportunity there. I don't know. Let's get these likes up, guys. We've got like 4 times as many people in here as we do likes.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
This was a banger chapter. So, throw some gifts in the chat. Shout out to Baby Pluto Ants for chat at 20. Thank you. Said Luffy versus Buggy happens next on Elbaf. Buggy needs the poneglyph rubbings, and Luffy's crew hasn't had theirs pursued by another party. It would be poetic if Vivi also joins Luffy for Croc to be interested in taking Vivi and Robin. Well, have you seen the Cross Guild Davy backfight video yet, Baby Pluto? Because I did say that, you know, it needs to happen at Elbaf. And they do need the poneglyph rubbings, and that's the whole, like, idea behind the theory in the first place. So, and I would love if Vivi was involved in that. And, you know, I have had, I've been saying that no matter what, we get to Elbaf, Vivi will be there because of Little Garden. You know, that's been one of my agendas. And there were, I actually, like, the Cross Guild Davy backfight video was longer than what I put out, because originally I did have a bunch of stuff about Vivi in it, like, because in my mind, yeah, Vivi is in the crew, but I didn't want to just make it sound like every theory that I do or whatever has to involve, you know, and be contingent upon Vivi being in the crew. So I took all that stuff out, even though I do think that she would be there, and I had a whole scenario about, like, the Groggy Ring, which was, you know, against Mr. 3 and everything, and if Vivi was there with Nami, then it's like getting revenge against Mr. 3 for Little Garden. Also, I was like tying a bunch of stuff into that, but it's like I really want that to happen, even though, you know, like, it may never happen, and that's still, it's still a fun idea. It's still fun. But as the ancient weapons continue to become more relevant in the story in the first place, like Crocodile needs to be involved because he is looking for them. He is the person who introduced them to us. Dave Pluto and member for 14 months said, like D-Stream. Patrick Fowler, member for 33 months, said Vegapunk should be too smart to let his message get cut off. What if 10 minutes is a lie to trick the world government? It's not live streaming to snails, but downloading to each one. Ooh. See, now that I like. And it would actually be really fun if, as we're like in the middle of all of it and we're like seeing them like kind of brainstorm what to do with the broadcast in the first place, like Edison just walks in or something. It's just like, I could download it to the snails. And they're like, yeah, do that. Catching up here, catching up. Vegapunk got a video editor. What do you guys think we're going to get out of this cover story? Because that's something that's interesting. Especially considering like how much like Oda has been willing to put things that really should be in the story into the cover stories lately too, like the whole pudding thing, making Toei like finally realize, oh, these things, oh, we have to adapt these, huh? Shout out to 00 Flevance, super chat of 10 said, what the message is being powered by, or what if the message is being powered by the Mother Flame, and to stop it, they have to destroy that, unless it's coming from Kamabaka Kingdom, and Dragon is indirectly helping unbeknownst. See, now that would be a Revolutionary Army win, and would justify why we had conversations between Shaka and Dragon in the beginning of the story. So if we got, and going back to Dragon literally remembering that conversation, I love what you're saying, and I think that would be a great way to do it, is that if we go back to Dragon and then we actually finish that conversation and it is them talking about this very message, like, hey, look, I think my death is imminent, I think I'm gonna die soon, and I want to get this message out to the world. Like, I've got a dead man switch set up, but I need to like relay it out.
Savage.
What do you have for me? That would be great. Do I think Oda's going to do it? No, because I think he's just going to continue having Dragon look east, west, north, south, southwest, northwest. Doesn't matter. He's just going to stand there and have ellipses. But what would be great is if Oda didn't do that, and then had Dragon have a win where the message does get out, because the only thing that the message is going to do is really bolster Dragon's numbers. Like, it's good PR for Dragon, because it's everything that he stands against. He is actively trying to get people to go against the world government, and here Vegapunk is ready to tell the world what the world government did. They're going to want to side themselves with Dragon and realize, oh wait, you know what, those Revolutionary Army guys, they've been trying to say this. World government was saying they were crazy, but oh wow, they're not. Oh, okay. Well, I hate paying heavenly tribute, so yeah, let's go. Oda's gotta stop playing with the Revolutionary Army and just do something with them. Do something. I'm with you, and I like that, and I actually do hope that that's the case. Shout out to Nick Lee for subscribing. And I mean, if there's a way where he tied it to the Mother the mother frame, the mother flame, all of that, and then it's like they have to destroy their creation, and if they don't want the message out, then that's good stakes, because it's like, well, I need that to control the world, but I also don't want the world to know these things. See, like that, I like the way that you look at things, because those things add stakes and they add like good stuff to the story. Sword Egg, where does Math Piece come in for Dragon? I mean, I'd have to look at everything. A lot of his stuff is at the end of the year, so it's I don't think there's anything that's really gonna jump out at that. How would I like to end Egghead? Asked a lazy player 1.E3. On a Pyrrhic note, where you know, I want it to feel like Sabati. Like, I want to feel like I got punched in the gut. But the silver lining of that is that Vivi is finally like reunited with everybody. But like, Kuma dies. Viking funeral for Kuma. Ala Mary on the way to Elbaf. Luffy gets captured, maybe. You know, there's just a bunch of different scenarios, but I just don't want to feel like... I don't want Luffy to beat the 5 Gorosei. Let's say that much. Like, I think that would be... I think that's too much gas. At that point, just crown him. Just crown him and put the end. Because I'm not going to believe that he's going to be struggling against anybody else at that point. Shout out to my guy Yamil, who said Blackbeard goes after Pluton in the cover story. I mean, that seems like it could be, but it's also like, is there enough time, even with Augur having the warp fruit?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
It's kind of wild. Shout out to 00 Flevens with the 5 gift memberships.
Together we're stronger. Together we're stronger.
Stronger together. Stronger together.
Another one, another one, and another one, another one, and another one.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Ryan Eastman super chatted. Appreciate the 10. Who said, what if York's betrayal was purposeful? I would hope so. I mean, more than anything, like, I don't want anything to be not on purpose. But a greater master plan to bring the Gorosei to Egghead. Ooh. And the visual element of the message is a live stream revealing the Gorosei's devil forms to the world. Are you saying that in that situation, York would be big-brained and have mastermind all of this to force the world's hand? That would be crazy, and I mean, it would make York an actual good character. But I think, I don't know, they seem too stupid for that. But it would be... You know, if they didn't kill Shaka, I'd be totally on board with that. But unfortunately, there's a bullet hole right here. That's the thing killing that. It's the one thing killing it. Unless Shaka gets up. Then he's got to, you know, it's like they all get up. Pythagoras gets up. Hey, guys, we're all good. Yep. Do you guys know this this guy in Alabasta? His name's Pell. He gave us some tips. He gave us some tips on how to, like, you know, die and come back. So we're good. I know where you're going. I know where you're coming from, and it's like, and I like the thinking of it, and I don't know if that's, I don't know. I think we're beyond it. Ronnie Williams said Stussy's still sussy. I mean, that's something I would also love. You know, like, if... See, now this would be an ideal scenario. And something that would be like, oh my god, right? Is Luffy's fighting the Gorosei. He's actually putting up a decent fight. And then out of nowhere, Stussy shows up, grabs Luffy, a la Dripper Scarfino, a la Guernica, and bites him. Like she did with Lucci and Kaku. And Luffy falls to the ground, and Stussy reveals herself as a triple agent for the world government. Which would then tie into why she was after the Tamate Bako box, which had to do, you know, and those pills represent Nika. You know, what Hody turned into looks like Nika. Sulong forms looks like Nika. What is the tie? What is the tie with these pills? And she was after those for the world government. So if she was like working for Vegapunk, but really is on the side of the Gorosei, that would be cool. Because her power is too broken and like she's out of the game. Like, what? I don't know. I would prefer that she was bad. So, and then that's how they capture Luffy. Like, that's a way to get there. That's a way to get into that scenario. Memoji said, my issue with Vegapunk having that pre-planned is how did he know back then that Luffy would be there? How did he know that the 5 elders would go there unless it's a master plan with all of them, including? Yeah. Because at that point, you would need a conversation to have had between Vegapunk and Law and Kid and be like, make sure that you get Luffy to, you know, go to this island. So trick him. You know, it's like, nah. It's too much. It's too much. But that's why it works with, like, the Stussy thing I just brought up. Because she was going there anyway. It didn't matter that the Straw Hats were there. But an opportunity has presented itself because he's there. 0011 supered and said, Shaka is going to be revealed to be alive and controlled from his belly, a la Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yo, that's why he had a helmet on the whole time, because his body is actually in the jacket. That's so big brain, bro. That's so big brain. And it's well within Oda's, you know, element to take this like stereotypically cool guy
Savage
and find a way to neuter that. Yeah, that's it. I'd accept that because it's Oda. Ryan Eastman supered and said, I feel like Luffy won't meet Shanks again. He may only meet him at the grave, putting the straw out there. No way Luffy losing the hat before the series ends. that would be so anticlimactic for me personally, where I don't even think it's like good thing story wise. You know, it's like some people think like, oh, Shiryu's got to kill Mihawk before
Savage.
Zoro can fight him again, and then he gets the title from Shiryu. There's no story weight to that. Like if you're building something, there are some cardinal things in One Piece that I feel like are going to happen no matter what. No matter what, they will happen. Whatever happens after that, whatever happens during it and before, whatever. But there are things that were set up at the beginning of the story that it's just like, these things will happen. They were promised to us. And it's like Zoro will fight Mihawk again, and Luffy will meet Shanks. What that meeting will be, how they meet, and what happens when they meet is all like up in the air. But the fact that they will meet will happen. I don't think Blackbeard comes in, kills Shanks before Luffy's able to meet him. They will have a conversation. Shanks will probably just say, you know, Luffy will go to hand the hat to him or something, and all you need is Shanks to say, looks better on you, kid. So, and that's it. Then he can go off and get killed or something, and then Luffy puts the hat on the grave after that. But it's... those are things that are guaranteed. Sanji finding the all blue, the Sunny being the ship that makes it to the to Laugh-Tale. These are things that will happen. Nami making a map of the world. Usopp becoming brave in whatever nebulous way that is. Yeah, there are some things that they'll happen no matter what. Leo Legendario said, what do you think of Rebecca training with Kyros? Do you think she will surpass her father in strength? That's interesting. I don't think Oda would allow it. Sad as it is to say, I don't think Oda would allow it. What I think would be really interesting is if we actually see Rebecca stop being defensive and she goes on the offense. But that may be a character quirk that she carries to the rest of the story where, you know, say Rebecca is a part of the final war, right? Dressrosa's ship pulls up, we got Kyros there, we got Rebecca, you know, father and daughter side by side, and she is still playing defensively, but it's Kyros that has to go in for the kill on all the characters, because it's just like, you know, she's keeping him on the ropes, and then Kyros has to get the slash in, you know, or it's something where, you know, it's cute, Batman and Robin style stuff, like, you know, early training things where it's just like, no, turn the sword around. you're hitting them with the back of the blade, or she just goes around and she just like is like knocking a bunch of people out. I do like the idea of them coming back and playing a role in some way, being a part of, you know, the Grand Fleet in a way. Barry said, Vegapunk's brain became sentient and now pilots Shaka's body. So then we get Stella as actual Shaka. I don't know, as long as I get Shaka back. That's one dude I actually do miss, and I don't know, I'd be okay with it. The Rebecca Pirates. Baby Pluto N said Par brought this up, but is Shaka's face actually Clover? They were both shot in the head like that. That's a weird take, but I guess it's coming from the place that people think that Atlas looks like Ginny, right? Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think he molded them off of anybody in particular. I think they're just designs. The fire on Par? No. Par's my guy. I just don't see that vision. You know, he's a visionary. He's got some good visions. Brandon said also you need to peep the anime episode. They add a bit of extra imagery so we know what young Clover looks like. Okay, all right. So was the last episode was, hey, Saul's alive, right? That's what that was, that whole thing. Because I do need to watch that episode. Ryan said, an interesting note, the only punks we see in the video are the ones that are dead. Are their personalities being stored in punk records and they aren't actually gone? So I brought that up when I was doing the reaction. You know, this was like, but what I think it really is that they are dead. And that this is Oda's like, it's just another trope in media where it's like, you know, when a character dies, but then they come back with like a final message or something, and it's like, you know, it's a couple episodes later in a TV show, and they get to bring the actor back, and then everybody watching is just like, you sort of get this sense of relief, and you almost get an opportunity to say goodbye to these characters. I think that that's what Oda's trying to do. He's trying to emulate that feeling, that idea. So, you know, that's why it's like, there's Shaka, and then it's like Pythagoras, like, oh, hey, I existed too, guys. Yeah. Let's see. 1066, but they didn't show the Saul is alive bit yet. So hold on. So they're stretching Shaka talking to Robin between 2 episodes? Is that what you're saying, Brandon? Sword Egg said, what are my 11-10 predictions? So, well, you know, we did correctly predict that we would see Big News Morgans and Vivi in this chapter. I'd like to see more of them in the next chapter. Considering that that's, you know, this chapter was 1,000 chapters. Well, each of these, you know, this chapter and the next chapter are both 1,000 chapters from like Vivi getting outed at Whiskey Peak and all that stuff. So, so we were right on that, and that's what's happening here. I want to see more decks of the world. I think we need to kind of set up a little bit of what Zoro's going to do in 11-11. So we need to see Zoro. Well, it also depends on how long is this summoning going to take. Like I feel like it's going to be a couple of pages. I mean, I could see a version where Oda waits until the last panel of the next chapter to show all of the Gorosei and have this like massive end page spread. But I could also see Oda using the next chapter as a setup also, and kind of giving us geography on everybody else on Egghead, so we kind of have an idea of who's going to fight who and where everybody's going to be. So that's a possibility as well, where we kind of catch up with what Jinbei's doing, implying that Jinbei will fight one of them. We see what's going on with Lucci, because Zoro's got to have some sort of big feat in 11-11. I'm sure Oden knows that he's got to kind of stand true to that, and he probably will anyway, because it's only going to happen once. I'm just scanning through the chapter here. I'm trying to think about all this. He turned them into pizzas this chapter. Will he turn them into a different food item next week? In 2 weeks, right? We got break. Which means we got to do a theory for theory. Yep, we got to figure out who's coming on, who we're going to talk to. Shout out to Patrick Fowler, Super 10. Appreciation said, Giants are at Egghead. We're going to the Elbaf arc. Sorry. Giants are at Egghead. Elbaf arc happens at Egghead. Shanks comes to Egghead. Shanks feats. Shanks and the red hair crew fights the five elders while the Straw Hats escape. Yasopp captured or killed, so Usopp can escape. The Elbaf arc happens at Egghead? So you're trying to say that you think all of the elements that people have been talking about that would happen at Egghead, that happen at Elbaf, happen at Egghead. Like, people think that, Shanks is, that Elbaf is Shanks' arc. Which it could be. I think it's a lot of different things, but not solely that. But I think that there is an opportunity for Shanks and the Red Hair Pirates to get involved in this, because it's like, this is one of those things where it's like, okay, the stakes can't get higher, and we actually do need more people to help us out here, and that could be how it goes. Yasopp dying? I feel like if he was going to die, it's got to be to Augur. Because then it's like, if one of the Gorosei members beats or kills Yasopp, then Usopp's got a vendetta against a Gorosei member. And I'm sorry, I love Usopp, but I don't know if he can do this. Like, if there was a way for Usopp to beat a Gorosei member, yeah, I might have to draw the line on that one.
Savage.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Shanks did get, like, thrown into this. Like I said, like, what if he has the same sort of summoning circle power? Brandon said, Randy, talking about the episode, they added extra stuff with Luffy and Chopper naming the giant robot and calling it, plus other stuff to pad the episode. She still cries over knowing O'Hara won, but Young Vegapunk Dragon and Saul is the next episode. Gotcha. I might wait. One Piece has been doing pretty consistent uploads of Egghead. I'm sure that they'll probably put that all together the way it's supposed to be, like, in the chapter. I mean, is the padding and it, like, naming of it, like, is it endearing? Is it fun? Like, is it cool? Or is it just like, okay, let's, let's just get to it? The filler was fun? Okay. Let's see. What else are we gonna get into here? None of this feels like it's going to end well. Is the main thing. It's way too long. Everybody's is just gonna set this stuff up, and I mean, what the parts of the message that do get out will be important enough to lead everybody into the end game, but it's not going to be everything. But hopefully it's enough. Hopefully it's enough. It's just... What I love about all of this is the uncertainty. This is the exact level of uncertainty that I hope for in the story. What can happen? How did we get here? How did the stakes get this high? It's wild stuff. Wild stuff. What's the point of Devon copying Saturn now if the Gorosei are all here? Well, unless Emu like destroys the island and kills all of the Gorosei, I think it's a safe bet that every single member of the Gorosei survives this. So, in that situation, which is what I said when Devon did copy Saturn, I was like, this kind of feels like Saturn's going to live now. Because the best way for her to be able to like get access and do everything that Blackbeard needs, Saturn would and should be alive. Because if he dies, it would be like, you know, national news, or at least everybody in Marijoa would know, unless... I feel like the world knows that the Gorosei exists. They just don't know that Emu exists. Shout out to 00 Flevence, who said Blackbeard could put his own message with a Saturn lookalike if he doesn't go the hostage route. That's another good take. But what would his message be? I recognize Hachinosu as a kingdom of the government. But, you know, the thing is that then the world would see that and recognize Blackbeard, but everybody in Marijoa would know that it's fake and would expect some sort of retaliation or some sort of action, and then it would clue everybody there in that they've copied him. They wouldn't have enough time to stop the message, so that it has to be something where it's like, well, the reason that they would copy him in the first place is access. Getting the hidden treasure, getting the hat, being able to move around Marijoa. So if they're doing a message which is interesting, I don't think it gets the point across for what they really need. Because I think what it does is it just blows the element of surprise that they have to get what they need, unless their goal is to galvanize the people in a similar way to Dragon, which I think isn't really their motive. Yeah. Beat Gamer said, to be honest, we need a reverie during this break week. Jen said Devon can control Marine fleets and Seraphim and, you know, just about anything. Leo said Morgans will tell the world Emu exists after Wapol tells him because of something Vegapunk says on transmission. See, now that's fun. If the transmission stops, like Emu is able to stop Vegapunk before he's going to reveal the existence of Emu, but Wapol is able to tell Morgans, so then Morgans gets the news out and finishes the broadcast or something. I love that. Does Morgans have a way to do something similar to this other than just doing the news? Because in which case, with Vivi being there, you could still get some of the stuff I was talking about, with her being able to, like, turn the world onto the side of Luffy also. Maybe Pluto and more I think about it. Vegapunk reveals the Ancient Kingdom's name, which I think should be Robin. Sabo reveals the existence of Emu, okay. But I think it's going to be Wapol. And Vivi spreads the knowledge of the poneglyphs to the world. Totally cool with that. Beat Gamer 99, copy of Saturn can control the Seraphims without anyone interfering. That is my main reason and thinking for why Blackbeard sent Devon there in the first place, was to get the Seraphim. He wanted Hancock's fruit. Hancock's fruit is in S Snake, so now they have control over S Snake no matter what. So that's what I've always been saying. Brian Carter said, I'm excited for Theory next week. Any chance for either King of Lightning, Brago, Tekking, or JD pulling up for that next week? We had King of Lightning and Jay pretty recently. Tekking wasn't too long ago. Brago we haven't had in a while. I remember I reached out to Brago. We couldn't make it work one break week, but maybe this is a good opportunity for Brago.
Savage.
Could get into some interesting discussion with Brago. That's one to consider. We know that Bonnie overwrites the pacifistas and may be able to overwrite S Bear. But we did not get confirmation that Bonnie can overwrite all of the Seraphim, only things that look like her dad. There's been no Reverie talk lately, so I don't know. Pluton wakes up in a cover story, Baby Pluto. I'm gonna be a little upset. Like, that's like such a huge thing. Like, it needs to be in the main story. Zayn Ali said maybe there's a secret place that only the Gorosei can access. Absolutely, that's definitely, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all about access. So it's going into that whole idea of, You know, getting into that crypt where we first saw Emu with the hat and all of that. Bonnie and Frankie, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei versus the Gorosei, please. I think Frankie is out for the rest of the arc. And I think Bonnie's out, Kuma's out. But what I think might happen is that we reveal that Kuma's been poisoned by that hit that he took from Saturn. So his circuitry and everything is slowly dying, and that, you know, he's going to end up dying anyway. And maybe the only people that are there for his death are Bonnie and Frankie and Atlas. And then that's when we give him a, Viking funeral on the way to Elbaf. Imagine the cover story is just about Jack. He's just laying on the bottom of the ocean. My thing is how did Onigashima get in the water in the first place? Because it landed on Wano. So did Momonosuke like go around and pick it back up? Because that's a huge feat, and then move it into the water and it sank. But then the other thing too is like, why did it sink? What changed about its consistency that it wouldn't just become an island? And how did it end up in Old Wano? It's kind of weird. Miles said, need the Sanji stands to unite for a summit, a kitchen confidential, a galley gathering. Yeah, we haven't had a Sanji summit, and we probably should have had one after the kick. When he kicked Light a couple of chapters ago. Lucy said 6 months ago to this day, Zoro started fighting Lucci. That's wild. That's wild. HSR said O'Hara parallels keep growing. Bonnie is Robin, Kuma is Olvia, Vegapunk is Clover, Kuzana is Kizaru. You got the Giants involved, Cypher Pole investigation, Buster Call. Gorosei prevented the message from Clover, but not now. Yeah, there's definitely O'Hara parallels. There's Enies Lobby parallels. There are Sabati parallels. There's a lot going on here. A lot. Adamus said moving Onigashima was Momo's off-screen training arc. Yeah, he's ready to join now. He's got hockey. He's super buff. It only took him 2 days. That's the thing that I want, Miles. Miles said, I feel like the cover story will give us all the Kaido and Big Mom answers, but maybe they go the Pluton route. Yeah, I want to know what happened to Big Mom. I don't really care about Kaido. I mean, I want the answer, but like I'm more interested in what's going on with Big Mom because I feel like she's the one that has more story than Kaido does. Like Kaido's done, but she could offer something at Elbaf. Did we ever find out where the skull from Onigashima came from in the first place? Asked Phil in the Flying Leap. Maybe it's connected to Old Wano. I mean, it very well could be. It's probably the skull of one of the original continent pullers related to ores, and that's why Wano is like this mishmashed collection of islands with different climates, which we know that islands have different climates in the first place, but they were all different countries that were pulled together and stitched together like a Pangea. And whoever was able to do that is probably what became Onigashima. Vasile Vlad Ivanovici said, unrelated, but a theory on Twitter suggests that the Buccaneers might have been genetically engineered slaves akin to golems in real-life folklore. Okay. I have to do a little more research on golems to really see where that's going, but I'm interested. So then it's like they're a little upset with their previous creation. So that's why they're trying to eliminate them. Brandon King said, I think the skull is Joy-Boys. We've talked about that, because then it's, you know, the whole fight on Onigashima was the fight of the failed Joy-Boy versus, you know, the new incarnation of Joy-Boy. Brandon said, the fake Joy-Boy Kaido versus the real Joy-Boy fight for the title. So, yeah, this is stuff we've talked about. I still love that idea because it adds an extra layer to Wano that it didn't have. I mean, it's my own headcanon, you know, trying to justify and make the arc better and all that, but are the borders still intact? That's a good question, Miles, but probably.
Savage.
Joseph Joestar, what do you think about the Gorosei being unscratched? What may hurt them? Oh, that's a good point. You know, I mean, like, if Luffy can't hurt them, what can? And then, you know, this goes back to, you know, the kind of joke pitch that I had where, you know, maybe it's true, but it's like Shanks shows up from a summoning circle and attacks the Gorosei, and he's able to hurt them. And then we go to Elbaf with Shanks, and it's this whole training arc where Shanks is teaching them how to use this, like, magic. So then we start getting into the magic of the world, and it's like, the reason Shanks is so powerful isn't just hockey, and he doesn't need a devil fruit, because he knows magic or something. And it's like, the last arc, we're learning about a whole new version of power set, so that we go through the story, and it's like, okay, normal fighting and devil fruits, then Rokushiki, then hockey, and then now magic. And it's like, I don't want that, but at the same time, that is something that is kind of already being presented to us with the Gorosei. So it's like, maybe only magic can fight magic. Kind of tough. Tough to put together. Realistically, Luffy should be the one that's able to do it. But it's also good setup for Emu. Because it may mean that Luffy has to, like, figure something else out. Some other way to get this going. Oh, okay. Yeah, Brandon said, what if their weakness is faith, praying to Nika? They come from a summoning circle, so their power is based in a contract. Luffy's power is based in godliness, so praying gives them power. So this goes back to what I was saying about Peter Pan. And that Peter Pan is like one of the big bases of this entire story, and something that Oda is definitely influenced by. And that belief, that power of belief, is rooted in that. And I still I have a good portion of a video where I go into all of this and the various comparisons in the story. But if like I've talked about before with people's belief giving Luffy his power, and the fact that Luffy was probably even resurrected because of his belief, specifically Nami, defying Kaido's claims that he had died. If we go back to the thing that we were talking about earlier, much earlier in the stream, where the message isn't so much about the true history, but it's about the legend of Nika, then suddenly this information that has been suppressed for so many years is the truth of Nika, because they know that if you know he exists, if you believe in him, that gives the power. The more people that believe in Nika, the stronger he is. So they committed a genocide and they killed anybody that would speak of Nika. This goes to who's who, right? The guards talked about it, and then the guards died, and then because he knew he was hunted down, they don't want anybody to know this name. They don't want people to even utter this name. They don't want a hope at all in the world. So if the entire message is that there is a god, Nika, if you believe in him, it will give him power, right? This is the Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell's died, guys. We got clap. Bring Tink back. And then everybody starts, this is also, this is the spirit ball. The spirit bomb. This is Goku asking the world for his energy, right? So then you have, Iceberg throwing up his arms, and and Lulu and Paulie from Water 7, and you got Rebecca, Kyros, Leo, and all of them in Dressrosa, and you got Vivi and Morgans, and and then Wapple is like that last hit, like, fine, I'll give my my energy, and then like Luffy gets all of this power randomly from the entire world believing in him, and then suddenly his punches have this extra power. I could totally see that being what this ends up being. Yeah. So I'm glad that you reminded me of that thought, Brandon, because that is kind of how I feel all of this is going to end up happening.
You loyal.
Moogie, member for 4 months, showed up and said, just made it. What'd you think about the chapter? It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. We're probably going to be wrapping up the stream here shortly, so can't get back into everything. But this is one for the books, and even though we didn't get actual information, and may not, the information that we will get will propel us forward regardless. And I think that the Decks of the World aspect of it is very important. Miles said, I don't think we'll get a new power system in Magic, but I think there are ties to the ritual stuff that Gorosei and Emu are doing to the Void Sentry, Brook being summoned, the Soul, Blotterman. Yeah, but I do think that, it may not be Magic, but it may be like an offshoot of hockey in a way where it's like, that I think that belief thing, this sort of Spirit Bomb-esque idea is... think it's all going to be that. Or Oda just reveals, Adamus said everyone from Wano did call the devil fruit sorcery. It's just like, yeah, what if it's all been magic the whole time? So it's just it's just a reframing where it's like everybody thought everything was like this thing, and it's just like, nope, it's all of this. It's all different kinds of alchemy happening. Volkazar, that's a great way to put it. Giving your willpower to others. Hockey sharing. Yeah. Sword Egg said, gotta head out. Peace out to everyone. W Stream Randy. Appreciate you. Definitely W Stream. I think I am going to start wrapping things up here. I'm going to try and set up a theory for all of us next Sunday. And let's see. Might do Saturday or Sunday. I don't know if we make it quick. I don't know. This next Sunday is Chrissy's birthday. But I think we're gonna celebrate on Saturday anyway, so. And we'll see what can be done. Look out for the analysis coming soon. And yeah, fun stuff, guys. Thank you so much, everybody that's here. Shout out to all the new members that we got in this stream. Thank you, everybody, and thank you to everybody that's been engaging. I think it's starting to slowly help the help the channel. I mean, it's just, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but it's wild. Chen said, have I watched Dune 2 yet? No, I want to rewatch Dune 1 first, and I want to make sure that I see it in 70mm, and it's probably going to be a little bit, because I want to see it in 70mm, and I want to have a good seat, so I've got to wait a little bit. And it took me a really long time to even see Oppenheimer, because I wanted to make sure I saw it in 70mm, and it was just like impossible to see. But I will. Miles said, Algo D rhythm. Yeah. Demon Gunner 7. Hey Randy, I wanted to ask what the status was on your review thoughts of the One Piece live action. Is it still coming out? So it's kind of hard to so the thing is a lot of time has passed, right? And I obviously know a lot of things that everybody else doesn't know. And if I was going to make a video, I would like to present those things that people don't know about Season 1. Season 2, nobody's getting any information about that. But some of the behind-the-scenes stuff with Season 1 would be fun. And Netflix kind of has a time and a place where they want like some of that information to come out. And so it's like I'm kind of in a holding pattern where I've had conversations with them where it's like, hey, like talk about this and all that. And it's like, yeah, that's fun, but maybe we should hold on to that. And it's just, I don't know when it's going to happen. But I've got a lot of stuff that I want to share, and I just don't know when it'll happen. But it's like, at this point, the only way that I do want to share that information is if I'm bringing something new. Because if it's just like my general thoughts, it's just like, yeah, I liked it. Like, it's great, But I want to share, different elements. And but whenever I do, it'll be fun, and I'm excited for when that, you know, eventually happens. But with that, I appreciate all of you, and we'll talk soon. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Feeling the vibe. Demon said, "That's fair. I would just love to hear Randy's thoughts one day. He's the one who got me hyped for it. You'll hear my thoughts one day." I wish it was today. I wish it was a few months ago. But one day, yeah, definitely.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.